my reaction to Vinland Saga Season 2. I will be posting my reaction highlights to YouTube for this season, at least for as long as I can do that, if copyright isn't too strict. I didn't post reactions to Season 1, I think, but I did post my reactions on Patreon. All my reactions are on Patreon still, but yeah, the highlights weren't on YouTube, or maybe I didn't have time to finish, I don't remember. But back then I was catching up, so this time it's just one per week, and Hanku will be helping me edit, so yeah, I can post these to YouTube. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking my video, and I hope you will enjoy my reaction and my thoughts. If you're new, I do pause, I do talk a lot. That is just kind of how it works here. So Season 1 was quite a while ago. I remember most of it. I feel like I might not particularly remember, okay, whose army is what army and which army. But I remember the main characters and the plot, more or less what happened, how it ended. Maybe some themes that were set up in Season 1 I've forgotten a bit. I would have loved to make time for a rewatch, but I'm trying to reread and rewatch Attack on Titan for the final season in preparation, and it's a slow progress. So yeah, I didn't have time to rewatch Season 1, but I'll do my best to remember and to discuss things. And if there's anything that you feel like I've forgotten or should take into consideration from the last season, please feel free to comment information. Just keep it relevant to everything up to where we've seen Season 1 and the episode that we are watching. Do not mention or hint at any manga stuff, because I have pretty strict mods, so they will delete comments that even slightly hint at things that are being set up for later. Okay. What language was that? Her voice is familiar. Like Chica? Again? This is not a... Oh. A fir on a barren land withers with neither bark nor leaves. So too does the man loved by none. Why should he live a long life? I understand the feeling, the sentiment. Just because you're alone now doesn't mean you'll forever be alone. What if you live in a house in the woods until you're 60 and then you're all alone and lonely, and then I lost a boy running away from abusive parents happens upon your cabin, and then you teach him how to be a man because his dad was too useless. If you had died at 50, you wouldn't have met him and been able to teach him some. So I totally understand that, but just there's always a little bit of hope. Move her where? I thought so. Don't do it! It's the sad part when it comes to, history. I mean, slavery still exists today. Human trafficking is alive and well. But yeah, when it's sad when people are looked at like commodities. As commodities, of course. But I like that Vinland Saga is linked to history, at least a part of history that I didn't really know much about before the first season. If anything, I knew about it. So it's one of those shows that makes you interested in what happened here, how much of this is true. I mean, obviously it's embellished and blah, 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 it's a story. But I mean, a lot of this is based on real-world occurrences and real-world places and people. Well, I don't know about people as in individuals, but I mean as in groups. So that is a very interesting part of Vinland Saga. Your homes are far away. No matter how much you struggle, you're never getting back to them. Slavery was never eradicated. It has only changed its name. Human trafficking. You know what is this? Sorry, this is not entirely relevant. I'm just thinking about the conversation I had today with someone who essentially argued that with these kind of people, since the majority of them will lead very, very difficult lives, it's better to, all these slaves, it's better to, a good person essentially would like take away their ability to procreate so that they don't have children that are born into slavery. And like, I almost threw up in my mouth a little at the audacity of someone to say that. Like, I can understand in your head like how it must sound. Oh, the animal is dying and is suffering, I would just shoot it in the head. So that's the kind thing to do, right? But these people are not animals. We have no little to no right. Absolutely no. I don't know if it's what kind of right, but you have as a person with a thinking brain, you have no right to over there. If you feel like I have the right to take away their ability to procreate, then are you any different than the slave masters that take control over their lives, that see them as nothing but sheep or cattle? You might convince yourself that you're better than the slave master because you're doing it out of kindness. But if anything, we should try and fix the world so that there are no slaves. We shouldn't try and fix slaves so that not more slaves will be born. No, you create, our aim should be to create a world in which the children don't have to be born slaves. Not, oh, well, I guess the easiest thing to do is just snap. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I get it. It's easier to let them die out. But what's the actual right thing to do is to work at creating a world where the children don't have to be born into slavery. Work at changing the world so that there will not be slaves. Is it near impossible? Do we have a world right now where there are no slaves? No. Do we just give up and, well, there will always be slaves? No. You become proactive. You make it so that there's a world with less and less and less and less. Sorry, that person and their comments really made me like a face palm through my forehead. I had to get a pump and ask Hanku to put the pump in my ear and so my head can just be normal again, because when I face palmed it went through. Anyway, not really relevant, but slavery. Leif? I don't remember. I recognize the face, I have no idea. I have a question. Are they looking inside? Wow, that is lovely visuals right there. Are they looking inside their teeth to basically check for diseases and stuff? Because obviously that will show, maybe give you an idea of how long they will last, because you're paying for them. And you don't want them to infect your other slaves, because they cost a lot of money. Oh, is it Reiner's voice? In continuation of my previous thought, there are 100% people in slavery, both then and now, who would think I'm better off dead. 100%. But that does, I just want to reiterate, that does not give us the right to kill them and to say, you are better off dead, you are better off sterile. That is just, in my beliefs, not something that a human being has the power over of another human being. We don't have that jurisdiction, that right. But that doesn't change the fact that there will definitely be, I mean, in this hopeless situation, there will definitely be people who feel like they're better off dead. That still doesn't change my mind, in the sense that what is our number one priority responsibility is not to eradicate slaves by killing them, euthanizing them. It is eradicating slavery. And there's also a very particular way to go about that. You can't just, for example, show up to a farm and kill the boss and then be like, you're free. Because now you are responsible for those people. Just an example, there are child slavery places like mines and the sweatshops or whatever. And if you just, let's say if you ban this, and this is the scariest, saddest thought, that if you just ban them, like, oh, you're not allowed to do that, just and have no contingency plan, they'd be like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to run this shop with the kids, kids labor, child labor, and then the children become a liability. They don't have space for them and food for them if they're not working. So then they sell them off to the highest bidder. So like, not only is it our responsibility to eradicate something like the slave trade, but then we have to help the people that are just left, of course. And that is why I think in people's minds, they think, oh, it's just so much easier to just kill them. It's a mercy killing, really. Or euthanize, not euthanize, snip, sterilize them, and well, at least I can take care of them, but then I don't have to take care of their kids. Whew, thank God. Or something like that. But that's just the easy way out. That's not the right way. And just because something is difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And even if it feels overwhelming right now to think about as an individual, wherever you're sitting, wherever I'm sitting, I do believe that people have the power to do these things if we don't leave all our responsibility, give it to the government and think they'll sort everything out. But if smaller communities took more charge, just not just one community, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and those small communities take charge of themselves and hold each other accountable. But it's not an easy thing to sort out. There's a balance that needs to be reached. But yeah, I just feel like I'm not gonna roll over and be like, yeah, let's just kill them, cause that put them out of their misery. Genocide, euthanasia, it's kind for everyone involved. It's just so much easier. At least they're not being whipped. Like, yeah, and you stop the whipping, but just because you stopped one bad thing doesn't make what you did right. You know what I'm saying? He heard his name. Small and blonde. Exciting! Ooh. Okay, I'm excited. Oh God. We have a sad song. People are gonna die. There's gonna be the sad song, and I'm gonna cry in this season probably. Just give me an empowering song, please. There's no freedom without love. Interesting. We were just talking a lot about the topic of freedom and what it means. Because does your freedom mean that you can take away other people's freedom? Logically, it doesn't make sense to me from a human perspective. We're the ones that make these words, so how can we, with our logic, think that taking away people's freedom is freedom, you know? Animals might live that way. The lion can kill whoever and whatever it wants. It's not, we don't see the lion as a bad, it's just a lion, but we are not lions. We are human beings with human brains that can give words meaning, and we chose to create the word freedom, and therefore I think our definition of it cannot logically include freedom equals taking freedom. So that is not true freedom, in my opinion, but I digress again. I am thinking of other topics in other anime. This kind of makes me think of the kid Tiru's farm. Maybe he's like this good slave master and blah blah blah. It kind of makes me think of Chandler's List, for example, where, if I'm not mistaken, and that's based on a true story, he basically bought people because he didn't know how to stop all of World War II, but he tried to save as many as he could. Chandler's List synopsis. Businessman Oskar Schindler, Liam Neeson, arrives in Krakow in 1939, ready to make his fortune from World War II, which has just started. After joining the Nazi Party primarily for political expediency, he staffs his factory with Jewish workers for similarly pragmatic reasons. When the SS begins exterminating Jews in the Krakow ghetto, Schindler arranges to have his workers protected to keep his factory in operation, but soon realizes that in so doing, he's also saving innocent lives. I want to watch that movie again. I watched it when I was maybe 15, 16. So then I'm pretty sure he buys more and more people to work for him, but in the end, that is his way of saving them. And he had that's the thing. You want society to not get so bad. I recently watched Inglourious Basterds, and we talked about this. You want to make sure that society never gets to a point where the Gestapo or whoever can just come into your house and be like, who are you hiding? If you don't tell me, if you don't show me, I will kill your family as well as them. And then you have to, you never want to be at that point. The government or whoever governing body should never have that kind of power over you. But a point that I'm making is each person has things that they can do. And if there were more Schindlers, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can save people, and at the same time, your political power can bring an end to the war eventually, bring an end to slavery or in that case, genocide. So yeah, I would highly recommend Inglourious Basterds. That's a pretty good movie. Pretty good. I gave it a 10 out of 10. And there are so many movies and anime that touch on these things and show us how resilient people are and how hard we are willing to fight for our lives, for our freedom, for our families, for ourselves. Well, our freedom, same thing. People should be given, if more of us just, but no, it's easier, just euthanasia. Schindler should have just, set his factory on fire so that I burned to death quickly instead of being experimented on in the concentration camps, right? That would have been a nice death. He should have just done that. God, sorry, I'm being sarcastic. I'm running too far with this stupid joke. I want to quickly take a look at VAs. I will score the episode and then, let's see here, Vinland Saga. I just want to recap Thorfinn's VA, and that Einar had a great introduction. At first glance, but at some point in the episode, I guessed it might be Reiner, I don't know. Thorfinn is also Amajiki from My Hero Academia. Oh, Grisha Jaeger from Attack on Titan. Whoa, okay. Hiro from Darling in the Franxx. Oh, I don't know him from many shows. That is very interesting. Okay, but he's obviously in more things. I just limit the list to on my list. Otherwise, I don't recognize the characters anyway. Okay, then Einar is Shunsuke Takeuchi. He's also Suzuki Makoto, Zach Walker from Astra. Wow, I don't know him from many things. Wow, why did he make you think of Reiner? Okay, but he definitely has voiced many more characters. If you want to take a peek here, many more. But obviously not many that I have heard for some reason. Great VA though, great VA. Okay, I think that was Leif. I think that was Leif. Now, to give a score for the episode, story-wise, I feel it was obviously very strong. Visual-wise, it was fine. It was good. But I'm sure they're keeping some of... waiting for bigger moments or bigger episodes. It was good. Consistent. With some blurps. Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 1. If you're new and you don't know how I score, just take a look here. So you can just pause and take a look at that. But basically I score it based on how I feel when I got a 7 out of 10 for a test. I would feel like that's good. An 8 out of 10, oh, I did very good. 9, great. And 10, perfect. But with episodes, 10s are very subjective, 9s and 10s. Whereas everything from 6, even just 7 and 8 is more objective. I feel, because usually that's the people's average. And below, 6 and below is like, gets a bit more subjective. I can never not be subjective, but I try and be as, like, even if I don't like something, I will admit, okay, it's worth at least this, or I'll try my best. But of course, I'm going to be subjective about these things. Like, story, I think, is an easy 8.8 for a first episode. Story-wise, very strong. Characters, 8.6. It's an 8.5, but that last little hype just gives it that extra boost. The visuals, good. I would say good, 7 out of 10. Audio, very good. And enjoyment/investment, I am very invested in the story already. And the themes, I would say 8.8 there, which gives an overall score of 8.2 for Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 1. What do you guys think? What did you score it? I think Einar had a very good introduction. I don't remember him ever from the first season. Maybe there was like a hint, or he was like a background character or something, but I don't remember him. But obviously, well, the same thing that happened to many other places happened to his home. It's very sad that he couldn't take his sister and run and get away. But in that situation, I think you are so unprepared, shocked. No one can say what they would have done in that moment. So although I wish they could get away, sadly, life is not necessarily fair, because it's true neutral. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but I'm just trying to give people, however, we have brains and the critical thinking, and in my opinion, our main objective is to survive, for our species to survive, because we used to be animals or whatever, right? Evolution, I don't know. But anyway, ideally we'd like to survive as a species, and I think that we cannot do that if we do things like slavery. I think it drags down our communities, our societies, our individuality, and without, like Maslow's hierarchy, I don't think we can reach the top when we have slavery in our society. And so we're always gonna scramble here, blah, 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 if we do these horrible things. I think that this is a topic that I can go a lot more in detail on, but just to keep it simple, I just think that morality is important, and without morals, humanity cannot flourish, because for the simple reason that if we're always here at the bottom of the pyramid, struggling for survival in one, because it will always keep the wheel turning, the oppressed becoming the oppressors, the oppressed becoming the oppressors, because bad morals, slavery, and then the wheel turning, and we're always gonna be here in the bottom of the pyramid, spinning, trying to get on top, going a little up, going a little down. And if we're always so focused on just fucking trying to survive, we can never flourish and thrive. Like, we can't reach the top, and we want to reach the top, because otherwise we're just living like animals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only at the top where we can do things really, like, create and innovate and thrive. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is, ideally, we should live in a society where there are morals and people take responsibility and accountability. And yeah, because when we are happy and safe and strong, that's when we or our children can thrive and create. And we need to create, we need to innovate and evolve, because otherwise the world will change and we'll be left behind like animals, like the dinosaurs back in the day. They couldn't. No, I'm joking. I think the dinosaurs turned into birds mostly, right? But I mean, certain dinosaurs didn't make it. Like the T-Rex, with his little arms, he couldn't adapt. So we have to work together to survive. And we can't work together if we're all always pitted against each other, and because that's going to be the society that we live in, if morals don't matter, and if people can be slaves and we treat them as such. Like, I don't know, I just don't think we can. I think we will be holding ourselves back that way. But yeah, it's a complex topic that I can't ramble on about for too long right now, because I would need structure and to make my points properly, and to give some backup facts and reasons for why I think these things. But for now, this is just what I think. You don't have to agree. I'll see you guys next week for episode 2. It was really good, so I'm looking forward to it. Bye.